Bop! Howdy hey, this is Frakbox, and I'm here with TruBluBlur.
Long time no see.
So, like the previous episode, if you watched, because of course you did.
Who wouldn't watch this?
It's
That's the best thing ever.
It is indeed. It's better than the FIFA World Cup.
And
other
I'm not a
things.
fan of soccer/football or American football. I don't really like sports, so I'm not honestly going to disagree with that. It may actually be better.
I didn't really like sports until I watched like the Women's World Cup. And,
Oh, yeah.
And like America was winning. And,
Yeah.
I did kind of feel bad for Japan though.
Oh no.
Either way, so like the previous episode, we're kind of just reacting to our old footage because the vocal audio crapped out on us.
Yeah, it wasn't doing too well.
So we're just kind of watching this again about a week after we first recorded it.
Yes.
Luckily, we're only having to do this for 2 episodes. So
Yeah,
this
for
is
sure.
this is the second. So just audio got corrupted basically.
Indeed.
So I guess I could kind of continue the conversation we were having in the last episode.
Yeah, talk
There's
about
actually,
Spanish.
There was something I wanted to specifically bring up. It was sort of, the way I think is that I tell like stories as a baseline, as a foundation.
Yeah, and then you go on.
Before I talk about the thing I actually want to talk about.
Yep.
It's a pretty common thing. You probably noticed that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So the thing I actually wanted to talk about with the whole Spanish thing is that I want to find a Spanish version of like Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow,
Oh man. Okay.
Gold, Silver, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Fire Red, Leaf Green. One of those. And I want to use that to basically practice Spanish.
Interesting. Okay.
Just because if I can understand it well enough to be able to play a video game entirely in Spanish, even if it's a kid's game, it's already a game that I know pretty well. So just getting used to the Spanish terms will be cool.
For sure. And I mean, that's a lot of info that's being dumped on you that you have to try and understand. So it's not necessarily a bad way to do it. I've also heard of people like rewatching shows or movies that they're already familiar with in other languages for similar reasons.
I kind of want to watch Dragon Ball Z
Yeah.
in Spanish, like the Mexican dub.
Yeah.
Because I hear that it's actually better than the English dub.
Yeah.
It also was done earlier than the English dub.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think Sabat, the guy who does the voice of Vegeta, in the English dub, Christopher Sabat, I think. So I think he was telling the story once of how they got the permission to be able to do the English dub for Dragon Ball Z, and Japan was not helping them at all.
Oh, really?
Like they were just not providing any assistance. Very, very little. They were translating the scripts from the Japanese, but there was just very little help they were being provided.
Yeah.
But the actual materials, as far as the video that they would need to dub over, they had to get that from Mexico.
Interesting.
They needed to get it from the actual Mexican studio that was doing their dubs. So
Okay.
if not for the Mexican dubs, the English dubs would not exist.
Very interesting.
And from what I hear, apparently, like the not really the vocabulary, more the feel of Spanish, like the sort of inflections you can give the words. Apparently, that translates pretty well, like Japanese to Spanish. It translates better than it does into English.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Supposedly.
Okay.
I've heard that from people who have watched Spanish and English dubs of who apparently know Spanish, English, and Japanese. That the Spanish dubs are closer to the Japanese than the English is.
Very interesting.
In a lot of different cases.
Okay.
Just they're high quality dubs. And in Latin America, they do really like Dragon Ball Z. So,
Yeah.
In fact, there was a story I heard of, Dragon Ball Super, right? So the Jiren fight, like the final fight with Jiren and Goku.
Okay, yeah. I haven't watched much of it yet. I'm not a huge Dragon Ball fan myself, but I know of it. I know who Jiren is.
So apparently there was so when that episode was about to come out, there was apparently this big event that was happening, like in Mexico City, where they were displaying it for everybody to see, and they were like advertising it like it was like a boxing match.
Really?
And they were basically showing it on a giant projector screen, and it was like this big festival almost. It was like, come watch Jiren fight Goku. And apparently,
how interesting.
The Japanese government actually got involved and told them to cease and desist.
Really?
Because they were showing it to so many people, it was a violation of copyright.
Oh, wow.
And so, but Mexico went along with it anyway. They just did it. And so they almost had like an international incident.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that's how much they love Dragon Ball Z down there. So... anyway, I wasn't expecting to talk about that.
Yeah.
That kind of reminds me of my girlfriend today. She messaged me like as I was coming back from, because I started my new job today.
Nice.
An orientation.
Okay.
So as I was coming back and I got home and I looked at my messages, I was like, "Hey, I'm back home," and she messaged me back, "Hey, can we go see Godzilla on Sunday?"
Oh.
And I was like, I'm sorry, we can't go see it because I'm asking you to marry me on that day. No, that's not what I said. I should have just responded, marry me. No. But I was like, yeah, we can go see Godzilla on Sunday. So I have like the best girlfriend.
Weren't expecting that either, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's great because she plays video games and she's into nerdy stuff, and
I bet she wouldn't get lost in this room. I'm so freaking lost right now.
As you are. Yeah, I know that a lot of the episodes was you just... I know at this point you were actually walking me through what you needed to do.
Yeah, I was walking you through the fact that I couldn't figure out what to do, and you were like, well, did you try this? I'm like, yeah.
Oh, that's right, I did. I was telling you to try a bunch of different... I told you to throw
a bomb in there. I'm like, okay, here goes.
And it didn't work.
Look at this nothing.
I do remember telling you to do that.
Yeah.
Again, because if you're just tuning in now for some reason, because this is totally radio...
You're right.
We're reacting to our previous recorded episode in which the audio failed. So
yeah,
just in case you forgot, for the folks at home. So I think during this episode, the last time I was telling a bunch of ghost stories.
Yeah, they were kind of interesting too.
And so, do you remember? Let's see, what's I think I was mostly talking about like sleep paralysis stories too.
Yeah, you had some of those.
So I wasn't really... I think I've only ever had one story that could be like a ghost story. Mm-hmm. I guess I'll talk about that first. Yeah. I mean, since we're fighting ghosts.
Yeah.
That's kind of what brought it up, I think.
It was, yeah.
So when I was like 4, I actually do remember... I have a memory of this. At my grandparents' house that I used to live at, a few years ago. My grandparents owned that house for a long time. They don't own it anymore because they sold it for a lot of money. But there was a long, dark hallway.
Yeah.
Where the light just didn't work a lot, or it just didn't shine all the way, and it was a really creepy hallway. And there was nothing. There's no reason it should have been creepy other than just it was dark and it was a long hallway. So one time we were at a family gathering of some kind at my grandparents' house, and I was standing at the far end of the hallway, like near the kitchen, so I was in the light area. And it went on for probably about, how long? I want to say 30, 40 feet.
Okay.
It was a really long hallway.
Yeah, that is pretty long.
Probably longer than that, actually. That's probably lowballing it. It was probably closer to 50, 60 feet.
Interesting.
Long hallway. But I look down the hallway and I see what my 4-year-old mind thinks is like a baby floating up and going through the ceiling. And I still have a mental mind's eye image of this, actually. So that's how much it stuck with me, because I don't have very many memories from when I was 4.
Yeah, for sure.
So apparently, I asked my mom when I was a kid, like, Mom, is there a reason like a baby would be floating to heaven or something? And she's like, what? And
how do you respond to that?
Yeah, I know, right? And because she told me this later, and apparently my grandparents did actually lose a child when he was an infant.
Yeah.
My grandparents did. And I don't know if that's related. I don't actually believe in ghosts. So
yeah.
but
there's so much that could potentially not be.
it's possible
hard
that
to
I
say.
could have just been projecting. Maybe I heard the story from somewhere and was hallucinating. Things happen. And hallucinations are so easy to make.
Yeah.
So I don't, I it'd be nice to go do like a ghost like adventure or something.
Yeah.
Especially since I'm more of a skeptic. Yeah, and I guess what else was I talking about in this episode? I think I was talking about sleep paralysis.
Yeah, there was you kind of. I'm pretty sure you moved from I don't really believe in that, but I do believe in this because I've had it a lot.
Oh yeah, well, sleep paralysis is a thing.
Yeah.
It's experienced by what 20% of the 20% of the population.
Yeah, I did not realize it was that many.
It's fairly common, actually. You hear a lot of stories, from history of people waking up and being attacked by demons,
Yeah.
or having dreams where they're attacked by demons, or being fully awake and not being able to move. There's a lot of our myths actually come from that.
Yeah.
So I used to experience it quite a bit. I haven't really experienced it in a while, but there was one instance back when I was married where I was having a sleep paralysis event. I normally have it when I lay on my back.
Mm-hmm.
So when I lay on my back, I typically have sleep paralysis. So I've learned to just sleep on my side.
Right. Yeah.
So I woke up in a sleep paralysis event, and when I woke up, the sky, I looked up at the ceiling, and it was like a purple filter had been put over everything, and it was light enough to kind of see, but it was still purple because I had the night vision eyes.
Yeah, that's so weird.
And then when you hold your breath for too long and you start to see stars.
Yeah, for sure.
It was kind of like that, but it was also purple. But I wasn't holding my breath and I wasn't gasping for breath.
So weird.
So, it's scary.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, I tried to alert my wife to help me wake up. My wife at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't talk because I'm paralyzed. And so the most I'm able to squeak out is, well, not squeak, more like roar. I actually do kind of like a growling sound.
This is so weird.
Kind of like a kind of a thing.
Oh, man.
And so, as you can imagine, that's quite scary to hear from your significant other laying next to you in the middle of the night. So it did wake her up.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And that's one event. And I think I had also mentioned in the episode, when I was 20 or so, there was a sleep paralysis event that I had where I thought the devil was attacking me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah, and this was actually back when I think I knew you, actually. Back when we first met.
Just kind of near the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, because I was living in a camping trailer. I was kind of post-religious. I was I had just become an atheist, or just not really.
Maybe we're still on the way.
I was, well, no, actually, no, it was a couple years after, but I was still kind of connected to the church.
Okay.
And so there was a lot of, I guess, self-loathing or something. I don't know. So basically, it was like the devil was attacking me in my sleep. And so sleep paralysis is not a fun thing.
Yeah, for sure.
There are some sleep paralysis events that I've had that weren't that bad, that were just kind of, oh, okay, I'm having sleep paralysis, okay. And you don't really feel in danger or anything. Mm-hmm. And those are kind of cool, I guess, because you're experiencing something that's not normal. But there are some times when it's kind of scary. And there's only been one time when I felt like I was being attacked.
Yeah.
And it was by the devil. But yeah, it was really scary.
I'll bet. I have no doubt.
So yeah, don't try to induce sleep paralysis. It's one of those things that just kind of happens. It's when you wake up, but your body still is sending the signal for you to be paralyzed, so you don't act out your dreams.
Yeah.
But you're awake, and you have to wait for your body to get paralyzed. So you just slowly become unparalyzed.
Yeah.
So it's not fun. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much everything that we mentioned in the last episode.
I think so, yeah. It sounds right.
Yeah. So you said, I think you said in the last episode you don't dream?
That is Correct. I mean, like, for the most part, I'm sure there's probably something going on,
Mm-hmm.
but when I wake up in the morning, essentially, all I can remember having happened is blackness. Like, I go into a coma, and then in the morning, I come out of it.
Oh, gotcha.
I will say that if I go back to sleep, then I will kind of dream after that. Like, nothing like that's anything like anything anyone else has described.
Right, right.
But, you know, I'll have, like, here's like 4 minutes of you acting out something incredibly mundane, like
Right.
walking from your car to work or something like that.
Yeah, something you do all the time.
Or stuff like that. And even then, it's super short and doesn't really register, and I usually forget it within the first few seconds of waking up. And
Oh, I remember this part. Sorry.
these tiny little gremlins.
They just keep coming after you.
Yep.
They just keep walking around the corner. But so, do you dream when you dream? Do you dream in color or do you dream in black and white?
I'm pretty sure it's in color. I don't really remember well enough, but fairly certain.
Yeah, because apparently that's actually a thing. Like a significant portion of the population.
Yeah, that's so weird.
They dream in just black and white. It's very strange. I couldn't imagine dreaming without color.
Yeah.
I guess I could imagine dreaming in black and white, but I don't remember any dreams that are in black and white. So
Yeah.
Although people who are colorblind, I wonder they probably don't see color in their dreams because they wouldn't have
Well,
any.
you would have to have a concept of what color is
Yeah,
first.
Yeah.
One thing I can say is that kind of makes sense for me. I would be surprised if it was black and white, considering the fact that I kind of think in pictures.
Right.
Anyway, I don't think with words. All of the concepts that are in my head are represented with, like, abstract colors and blobs.
Gotcha.
To begin with.
I actually have a harder time visualizing things than most people.
Yeah.
As far as like, it's hard for me to visualize. I mean, I can still do it. It's just really hard. It's not as clear as I think most people would be able to visualize things.
Okay.
But dreams are always very vivid. Well, not always, but most of the time they're very vivid, and I can remember them sometimes.
Yeah.
I think we're getting close.
Getting pretty close.
We're getting close to the end of the episode. I
Yeah.
did have one more story that I wanted to tell, but I'll probably save it for the next episode.
Okay.
So it's about my laptop computer
Yeah. Okay.
and the adventures in upgrading Microsoft Windows, which is always an adventure.
To say the least.
I could probably denote like a whole episode just to me talking about like my laptop computer.
Right.
So I've done so many computer projects with it.
Yeah.
I'm finally just I was dual booting Linux and Ubuntu, or Linux and Windows.
Jeez.
Linux, Kubuntu, and Windows, and now I'm just back to running full Windows 10 on it. So, so I think that's the third PO.
I think that's the fourth one.
Is it really the fourth one?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't. You might be right. I don't remember.
Are we gonna fight like the PO or something?
I don't even know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll probably call the episode here.
Yep, for sure.
So this is Frakbox.
This is TruBluBlur.
Have a great day.
Keep on running fast.